So that may be why it does not shift from high to low. Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. This is my 1996 Eco Challenge Land Rover Discovery, and this is my tree. This is one of less than 300 XD model first generation Discoveries, a special edition that was made for the North American market, all finished in AA yellow. These were upfitted with some off-road bits, including that roof rack there, engine skid plate, and a few other things. This was one of 28 pre-production models upfitted and used for Discovery Channel's 1996 Eco Challenge Adventure Race, and we are going to use that guy to remove this from my super safe deck. But in addition to all the glass there, underneath this deck, there is a 12-foot glass patio door, and I'm afraid with my tree cutting skills, this guy would end up in one of those panes of glass. So we're going to use that Discovery to do this in a safer manner. Or should I say, hopefully safer manner? So we're gonna take this guy right up the ravine. Earlier this year, we cleaned out some of the trees, but I think we're gonna have to use our little Warren winch and clear a little more room. And whoever said it was a good idea to buy a house in the middle of the woods lied. No, I'm just kidding. I love it out here, but sometimes it is a little bit of work, especially for a city boy like me. Before moving out here, I had zero experience with this stuff, and you can make fun of me for this one. This is the first chainsaw I have ever owned. House came with it, and the extent of my knowledge was I knew you needed bar and chain oil for them, so I went and picked up this can to spray it on as I cut, not realizing there's a tank for bar and chain oil, and it does it itself. So yeah, we've come a long way around here. So just if you ever want to make fun of me, you know the true starting point of my outdoors knowledge. I don't think I've ever told anyone that story. It's just between you and I. But before we're able to use the Eco to take care of that, we have to take care of the transfer case shift linkage. Messing with this doesn't translate to locking the diff or putting it in low. Probably about 2 years ago now, we took the center console out and unstuck all the frozen linkage. But since some genius decided to neglect this thing, don't know who that could be, and leave it sitting for months and not operate in the transfer case for a period of time, it's not functioning once again. In a different way though. It moves, just doesn't translate to moving inside the transfer case. So let's fix another problem. Seem to create a lot of those for myself. Well, being this one has 218,000 miles and has been apart many times, we made quick work of getting it apart again. We may have found our issue. We do our lever moves. Oh wait, I think it's supposed to be connected. So that may be why it does not shift from high to low. Usually these things need to be connected. I guess the one good thing is the linkage stayed freed up. So it's not 100% my fault, just mostly. I kind of find it hard to believe, but do you see what is sitting there? That guy stayed resting on top of the transfer case. This is a strange thing going on here. Here's the piece that connects the linkage to the transfer case. That guy is pretty frickin' chooched. We'll hop on over to the Risco Disco transmission here. It is supposed to be straight. This one's got a pretty good curl to it, so we'll have to straighten this guy out. But then we need to figure out what's going on in there, because that's a lot of carnage for just adjusting from high to low. Not 100%, but we have that guy looking much better now. And it is still locked solid. So we probably have one of two things going on down there. So we got two of the LT230s out on the floor here, which is kind of convenient to show you guys. So right here is what's froze up and not moving, but there is a lock solenoid, and that can go bad. That solenoid's there to make sure you're in neutral before shifting the transfer case so you don't grenade a bunch of stuff. The other thing that can happen is you can have some corrosion on the shaft itself, and it can lock solid that way. It's a little hard to see through the center console here, but that round aluminum piece with 4 bolts is our solenoid lock. On the transfer case, that's located right here. This one obviously does not have that, so that can go bad. So what you can do is pull that off and remove the solenoid and gut the solenoid inside. Unfortunately, this appears to have already been pulled off and resealed, so I'm guessing that procedure may have already been done. So we got that lock solenoid cover off, and as I suspected, that guy was already gutted. Uh-oh. So here's the shaft housing there. That guy there is what shifts it into high and low. As you can see there, this thing moves freely. That's not a good thing. So we had our solenoid cover pulled out. No solenoid, so not the problem. Pulled the shaft housing out. It's free as can be. Just pulled this guy out. This is the switch to indicate whether you're in high or low on the transfer case, and it functions. But as soon as I pulled this guy out, I could take our pry bar and move the selector rod inside the transfer case pretty easily. I can't say I've ever ran across this scenario. I've never had the switch cause it. But what we're gonna do is throw these guys in the ultrasonic cleaner and we'll glue them back on, see if everything operates fine. Then we'll screw this guy back in, see if it operates, and see if it was just jammed up or something. Strange. We got the shaft back in along with our solenoid cover, and now we move nicely in there. So the switch is now in there. And everything seems to work now. It's a mystery. Maybe it all got bound up for some odd reason, but to do that much carnage, bending that connecting piece like that, strange indeed. I suppose since we're gonna be going into the woods to do our logging, we should probably install our new limb risers. The old ones were obviously pretty crusty. Got our new cable there and our new connecting bits up here. A little droopy. Decent. And right here is why we just did truck bed liner, because we'll be able to touch that up after we do things like this. Discovery problems. It puked a little coolant there. Could be because we were sitting in one spot winching. Could be because it's a Land Rover with 218,000 miles and needs head gaskets. I suppose we'll find out when we traverse further up the ravine. All right, now that we got that one out of the way, my plan is to pull the Discovery up to about right there, maybe. I'm hoping that bigger one kind of disintegrates as we go over it. It's pretty much powder anyways. That'll get us close enough. We'll put a strap on the tree, run the winch line up, and see if we can make something happen without destroying any glass. Well, this is going swimmingly. We picked up a little bit of a power steering leak, but hey, it didn't push any more coolant yet, so there's an upside to everything. So we're gonna fire this up, see if we can find where it's leaking without lighting it on fire. This may be the end of our logging adventure today, but let's see. Coming from there. All right, so this guy has a Chevy small block power steering pump conversion, and that is a custom stainless braided line to make that happen. So we're gonna have to yank that off, take it down to our hydraulic hose guys in town, and get a new one made up. So I think that is probably where the Eco will lay for now, but that may have gotten us close enough. If we run the winch line out, put an extension on it, we can at least get that accomplished tonight. I'd really prefer to get that off the house. And to top it off, now I can't get the clutch released. This is going great. This is going great. I guess it's better for these things to happen at home. We'll go with that as the positive side. So I guess we'll add that to the list of things to do. Love creating more work for myself. If there's a will, there's a way. Some days, I wish I was a dog. She doesn't have to worry about doing dumb stuff like this and just gets to lounge around and watch. I think she's also given up on being the safety supervisor for the logging business. I'm wearing gloves and glasses though. The safety glasses are protecting my hat pretty well. All right, I think I'll take that strap, kind of shimmy it down into that V notch right there. You can see the Discovery down there. That should give us a pretty straight shot without rubbing against that dead tree, so we don't take that one down onto the garage. Although the way this is going, it's probably what's gonna happen. Oh, we got the safety supervisor seeing what's happening. But my thoughts are, if we pull there, we got that tree to pivot off of, so it'll swing the butt end around a little bit. Theoretically should swing this away from the house, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. We'll make sure to put Sasha inside for that. Feel like I'm in the rodeo. It's probably a good thing I didn't make that my career. We're making progress. All right, we'll call that good. I think that calls for an ice cream break. All right, so we got our strap hooked up to the winch line, and we got the Discovery all the way down there. And with the elevation difference, we're gonna be putting some down pressure on this tree. That kind of worries me some. The way it's sitting right now is we are going to pull it off there, and this is gonna drop a couple feet and probably break my railing. Most of the weight's on that little guy. So I think I'm gonna chop off this other leg of the tree. And now you see why you don't hire me to do your tree removal. I'm worth about what I'm paying myself. This may not make the most sense in the world. I could try and slice this and let it fall straight down, but we have windows underneath here, and we have the big patio sliding door underneath over here. So what I'm wanting to do is pull this sideways. It's obviously going to drop once we get to about here, but at that angle we're clear underneath. The window is over there, patio door is over here, so it won't reach the patio door. Just so you have an idea why I'm creating the cluster that I'm creating, there's a reason behind it in my head. Whether it's a good reason, we'll find out here in a minute. Here goes nothing. No damage down below. I didn't want to catch that window or this slider, and we did not. We didn't even mess up the vent for the pellet stove. Now we're at a height that I can safely cut this guy up. With the ravine and the deck, it was just beyond my skill set before, so we decided to drag it down to a level I can handle. So we got our hose out. You can see there where our little split is. That's where it was puking out of. So there is where the poor Eco will spend the night. Right down there in the ravine. Should be safe. But either way, we'll go get a new one of these made up in the morning, get it back on the road, or should we say back on the trail. Could have gone better, but it could have gone worse too. Either way, we got the tree off the house. With that being said, appreciate you guys watching, appreciate you subscribing, and sometimes you just have to do your chores. We'll catch you guys on the next one. It will be messing with the dash on that LS3 Swap Defender. Probably should have wore a long sleeve shirt. Got into something down there. Now I gotta pick a bunch of burrs off.